All right, you guys, back at you with another video. On today, it's the Keeping It Raw podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Click on that bell so that you'll be notified whenever we put up an upload. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into our video installment. All right, guys, it looked like there's some breaking news out there on the Detroit Lions currently. The combine is going on today, and pretty much it'll be going on today all the way until Saturday. And there's a lot of players that the Lions are going to meet with. And on today, the Lions met with quarterback Anthony Richardson. And if you did not know, in the season, the Detroit Lions went to 5 of the Florida games, pretty much scouting a lot of positions on that team. They probably were looking at Anthony Richardson, guys like Ventrell Miller as well. Maybe they were also looking at Dexter, the defensive tackle, and maybe they could have been looking at Cox as well, the other linebacker as well. So there could have been a plethora of players that the Lions were looking at. But definitely, man, something that is very intriguing is the Anthony Richardson situation, because when you look at Anthony Richardson tape, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's things that this kid does really well and really good. There's things that this kid was looking really, really bad. And then he had his moments where he looked really, really ugly out there. But at times you knew that this kid had the skill set to be able to get it done as far as like with his legs and things of that nature. I think that the biggest thing with Anthony Richardson going into the NFL is being able to clean up his mechanics. His decision making has to get better, and being more accurate with the football in the NFL. Now, he had a completion percentage, I think, of like 53.8 or something like that. And that's pretty low. You know, you kind of want a quarterback to come in with at least a 60% completion rate. But he didn't have that. But what I see in this kid is raw talent. I see that this kid has all the intangibles. He has a cannon for an arm. And I think that he's going to blow up at the combine. Now, it's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be trying to vie for a quarterback. Now, maybe the Lions are looking at him and just doing their due diligence. Not saying that the Lions are going to draft Anthony Richardson, but maybe they're just doing their due diligence and checking out all the quarterback prospects, and whoever may fall into their lap, they may end up drafting. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to take a quarterback in the first round. There are other quarterbacks that the Lions could definitely take a look at as well. Guys like Jake Haener. They could also look at guys like Tanner McKee. And there's other guys like Aiden O'Connell and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different quarterbacks. And I can't even mention all of the quarterbacks that'll be in the draft because it's too many. You got guys like Max Duggan, who the Lions could be looking at as well. But right now, currently, the Lions are talking with Anthony Richardson, and I like what Brad Holmes is doing. He's staying true to his word. The Lions need to develop a backup quarterback. We've been talking about this for years. We've been talking about this for a long time. And you also seen what the San Francisco 49ers did with quarterback Brock Purdy, picking him as the last player in the draft, and he panned out. Did not know that Trey Lance would get hurt. Did not know that Jimmy G would go down. And eventually Brock Purdy gets the opportunity and makes the most of it. And now next season for the San Francisco 49ers, you could have a bit of a quarterback controversy. You know, I know that Brock Purdy ended up getting hurt in the NFC Championship game against the Eagles. He ended up hurting his elbow, so hopefully he'll be fine next season. But definitely, man, they spent a lot of draft capital to be able to get a quarterback like Trey Lance, and you really don't know what Trey Lance is going to look like because he really hasn't played a full season. He only played in a few games for the 49ers, so you still don't know what he's going to look like. And then we know what Jimmy G looks like. He's a veteran. He's been able to win football games in the NFL, and ultimately he ended up taking the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl. And Jimmy G has just been a solid quarterback since he's been in the NFL and since he's had his opportunity to play. But definitely, man, there's a lot of talent, man, in Anthony Richardson. This kid is raw. This kid has the traits, and that's why he's being looked at more like a potential, more so than anything else. When you look at the draft, you're looking at Anthony Richardson saying, wow, this kid has all the intangible. He has a cannon for an arm. He's very, very great with running with his legs. And the ultimate thing with him is being able to clean up his mechanics, being able to get better with his decision-making with the football, and ultimately being able to sit behind a guy like a Jared Goff. I think that if Anthony Richardson was drafted by the Lions, he would have time to develop. He's a young kid. I think he's only 21 years old. And sometimes when we look at younger quarterbacks, or when we look at quarterbacks, period, we nitpick on everything, not giving these guys the benefit of the doubt to be able to change when they get into the NFL or get better. You know, you look at them, okay, you just say, oh man, he threw for his completion percentage was 53, but you don't know if this kid can get better. You don't know that. None of us know how these players are going to be. Any player at any position can be a boom or a bust. Any guy can be a boom or a bust. It doesn't matter if you're a quarterback. It doesn't matter if you are a running back. It doesn't matter. I mean, look what happened when what's the name came into the NFL a few years ago. You remember when Trent Richardson came into the league from Alabama, and he was supposed to be this, you know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be one of the best running backs taken in that draft, and he came into the league and was a bust. So it can happen to anybody. Any player in any given position in the NFL could be a boom or bust player. Now with Anthony Richardson, there's a lot of upsides to this kid, and there's a lot of good, bad, and ugly. You know what I'm saying? I got a chance to watch him. I saw his tape. I see what he can do. He can throw. There's plays where he looks very, very good on, and then there's plays that he looks like, what are you doing, man? What the heck are you doing? This is those type of plays. And I think that by him being drafted to a situation that would allow him to develop and allow him to get better with time, that he would turn out to be a solid quarterback, because this kid has the potential to be a very, very good quarterback. I think he only played the position one season as a full starter for the Gators. And the other season when he came in, he was basically like in and out with Emory Jones. He was in and out. They were like pretty much flopping and switching plays, whatever. But at the same time, man, Anthony Richardson is one of the most intriguing quarterbacks in this draft. And the reason why this kid could be a first round pick is because the potential is there. The rawness is there. He's going to ooh and ah you at the combine. I think that him and Will Levis are going to really, really have the best arm out of all of these quarterbacks. And I can't say CJ Stroud is not going to have a big arm, because he is. And Bryce Young is pretty decent as well. But I just think that Richardson and Levis probably have the bigger arm out of the quarterbacks. So there's so much potential with Anthony Richardson, man. Now, the Lions don't have to draft him, but it's good that Brad Holmes is just doing his homework and just wanting to meet with the kid and figure out what type of personality. Because basically when they're talking to these guys, they're trying to figure out if that kid is a culture fit. Just like he said, he's looking for guys with character, and he's looking for guys that fit the grit and explosive character culture that they want in Detroit. That's what they're looking after. We already know that he's explosive. How he is as a man, a young man on and off the field, I don't know too much about his off the field antics or anything like that. But on the field, this kid is a raw talent, man. And if the Lions were to draft him, I would not be mad at it. I would not be mad at it. It is the time that the Lions have to develop a quarterback. Now, pretty much Brad Holmes has put it out there. He's willing to draft a quarterback, and he's willing to also take one in free agency. So maybe he'll do both. Maybe he'll draft a bridge type of quarterback that can come in and kind of help out and be a mentor to the younger quarterback as well. Or maybe he just flat out drafts as the quarterback. You know, because there's a lot of good, solid backup quarterbacks that you could take in free agency. So they maybe go that route too. I don't know what route the Lions are ultimately going to take, but I'm just happy to see Brad Holmes really executing and doing everything that he said that he was going to do. He's carrying that out, and that's what you want to see as a Detroit Lions fan. I know that everybody, you know, it was a big fight months ago with people fighting over who should be the quarterback in Detroit, and all these different quarterbacks and all this type of situation. At the end of the day, you want to have a solid backup quarterback. The quarterback position is the most important position on the team. And if Jared Goff goes down, then what do you have next? All right, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm out of here. Until next time, peace.